Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be setting up my traveler's notebook for actual travel because I'm going on a trip out west to Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and Utah, and this is the planner I want to bring with me. It's the perfect size to carry around out there, and it can hold all the information I need. So as you can see, I have a bunch of stuff here that I think I'm going to use in the setup. I have some zebra mild liners, a bunch of different colors that I think I might want to pull in. The pen I'm going to be using in here is an Energel Clina, and it has a very fine tip, which is important because I'm going to be using it with this stencil that I got from Hobonichi. And by the way, I'll link everything down below so you can find it if you're interested. I have some Stabilo brush pens if I want to do some lettering. The TN itself is from Chic Sparrow. This is a pocket-sized Mr. Darcy in the color Toffee. I've had it for a few years now. I also have several charms on it. I'm not sure where any of them are from except this little white sort of bear looking one. That one is from my shop. I have a little pen clip here. Not sure where this is from either. I got it as a freebie in an order a long time ago. Got a couple of dot grid notebooks. I just prefer to use dot grid in my TN. And then over here I have some stuff that I want to turn into dashboards. So that's about it for the intro. Let's go ahead and get started with the setup. So the first thing I'm going to do is move aside some of the items I'm not going to be using right now. The only things I need for the very first part of this setup are one of my notebooks, my pen, the little Hobonichi stencil, and also a mild liner. I decided to go with a brown one because I felt like it fit the Out West color scheme I was going for and the overall theme of this setup, which I'll get into more later. I'm using that mild liner to make a background for the title of my pages. I just like to do that because I feel like it helps you see what the page is about a lot more easily. The first page in here is going to be my packing list, and I have a very specific way I do packing lists when I go on vacation. I use the little Hobonichi stencil, just the little checkbox stencil, and write out all the little boxes I need for the amount of items I'm bringing. And then when I'm initially packing up to go on vacation, I check off the box for the item to make sure I packed it. Then when I'm packing up to leave wherever I was, because I do bring this notebook with me, I look at my packing list again, and after I pack up the item back into my suitcase, I cross it off the list so I know I packed it and I can be sure I don't leave anything in my Airbnb or my hotel, because if you've ever done that, you know it can be very frustrating, especially if it's a sentimental or expensive item. So doing my packing list that way makes it so much easier than writing it on a scrap of paper and tossing it before you even go on the vacation. The next page I'm doing here is an itinerary. This is probably not necessary for most vacations, but on this one I was going to 4 different states and staying in several different destinations. So I wanted to have a list of where I was going to be on what date, just to keep myself on track basically, and also mark travel days because we flew to and from the destination, but we drove to the individual destinations, if that makes sense. So we flew into Montana, but then we drove from Montana to Idaho. So I wanted to know which days I was going to need to be traveling a lot and just keep track of stuff like that. Here I'm actually adding a couple of stickers from my shop to the pages. This is a minimalist planner for me, and honestly, I'm not super concerned with it being aesthetic or cute. But I had these fun travel stickers and I just decided to pop a couple of them in. I thought it was really fitting, again, for the theme of this notebook. Plus, if you've been a follower of me for a while, you know that Winston is my shop character, and I just love him to bits. He's just my favorite thing ever, and I really can't resist adding him in to a planner spread whenever possible. Okay. So the next few pages in this notebook are going to be more detailed itineraries. I'm actually going to give every single day its own page, and I'm writing out a general sort of schedule for the day. Again, for some vacations this won't be necessary. If you're just going somewhere to relax and lay on a beach, then you don't need to do this, but this was an adventurous vacation and I had all kinds of plans for hiking and different things. And I also had some flights I wanted to write out. You'll see at the top of this page I have flight times and which airport I was going to and from written down, again, just because I can't miss those. I have to make time to be on those flights, so it's very important to have the timing right. This day we also had to do a cabin check-in, and then I needed to do some sort of errand things, as in go to the grocery store and get some hiking snacks. So I made a little list in this notebook, It's definitely a catch-all notebook, just anything I need to remember or write down or any information I want to keep, it goes right in here. The other days of the itinerary schedule look a little bit different, so right now I'm showing you one where I was spending the whole day in Yellowstone. This is the sort of day that needs less structure, but I still wanted to write down a general list of things I wanted to see in the park. I have been before and I'm pretty familiar with the layout of the park and what there is to see, but because I have been before, I actually wanted to prioritize seeing things I had not seen before. So most of the stuff going on this list is things or attractions that I had not gone to the last time I was in Yellowstone. And this was super helpful because that park is just huge and there's so much to do and all of it sounds amazing. So I was really glad I did some pre-planning for what I wanted to see most. And I also wrote down some important info like how long certain hiking trails was, again just to help with the timing of the whole thing, because if you have, say, an extra hour of time and you have a hiking trail on your list, you kind of need to know how long the trail is so you don't end up going on a trail that's going to take you 4 hours to complete when you only have an hour of extra time. Just speaking from personal experience there. I'm not going to show you all the pages that I scheduled out because it gets kind of repetitive, but I am doing the last one here right now. This one's very simple. All I had to do was catch one flight and then I was going to be home. So I'm just writing that out. It looks kind of blank, but I did end up going back and adding some more details for some shopping I wanted to do that morning. By the way, by the time you see this video, I've already been on this vacation and come back, and I have vlogged it. So I will link the vlogs in the cards in case you want to check those out and see what we got up to on vacation. Right now I have moved on to my second notebook and I'm making a weekly spread. If you've seen my other tea and setup videos, then you'll be very familiar with this spread. All I do is divide the left page into a weekly boxes, and the right side is a big to-do list. I'm also using a highlighter again to highlight the dates, sort of as like faux date covers, and I'm just writing the dates in now. Now, this is obviously a very small weekly spread, so I'm only writing in really big things that I need to remember and definitely get done during the week, or things that have a time limit that I really can't get around in any way. So for example, on this Monday I needed to close both of my shops because I was going out of town and I wasn't going to be here to fill orders or do anything relating to them. I also needed to budget. I put that down for Tuesday. Wednesday was the day before I left, so I wanted to do a whole bunch of cleaning, and then I'm writing in more flight schedule info. I probably didn't even need to fill in the second half of this week because I was on vacation, but just for consistency's sake, I did that. And on the right, I'm adding a to-do list for things I needed to get done during the week, but that didn't have a specific date or that I was going to assign to a day later, just based on how much time I had on specific days. And as for the rest of this planner, I was using it as a memory journal when I was out west. So I just left the rest of it blank and I wrote down different things that I wanted to remember so that when I got home, I could very easily flip through this and fill in my memory spreads. Alright, now for the really fun part, we're going to be setting up dashboards for my traveler's notebook. Here are a bunch of out west themed pictures that I printed off on cardstock to make into dashboards. I got them all from Pinterest. And I have two different clear sleeves with pockets in them. One is from Foxy Fix, so it's obviously not available anymore. The other one I will link down below. It's from a shop that I believe is called Lime Life Planners or something similar. I'll find the appropriate shop and link it, as I said. I like to put double dashboards in each dashboard, so it's a total of 4 different images. And I also have that little die cut of Winston. Again, I just made that for myself, just because I thought it was cute. And I'm just filling all these in. It was kind of repetitive, so I skipped over this. The second dashboard insert that I have is a little smaller than the first, so in order for me to fit my pictures in there, I had to trim them down. So that's what I'm doing right here, just sort of measuring it up with the plastic and then trimming it down. It doesn't have to be perfect for me. As I said, this is my most functional planner. It doesn't need to be really cute. As long as it looks nice to me, I'm happy with it. So I trimmed that one down, made sure it fit, and then I'm going to use it as a guide for the other ones. By the way, I think this might be my favorite setup I've ever done. I just loved all the themes and I felt like the images I chose went really well together. It was also super useful. As I said, I'm already back from my vacation, and having this little planner that I could look at whenever I needed specific info was so great. It helped me feel really confident about everything I was doing. So now I've got my dashboards all set up, just showing them there to you, and it's time to actually put the planner together. So I'm going to put one notebook inside each dashboard insert. I'm starting with the second one. As you can see, it doesn't really fit the notebook, but it's okay. I still like how it looks. My TN has 4 strings, but I only use the second and third one. I just prefer to use the middle ones. And here I'm actually going to accidentally put the notebook in upside down into the dashboard, and I don't notice it until later. So if you catch that just now, just know I do fix it in a minute here. I'm also putting my pen loop on, and I always put a Muji gel pen in when I travel, just because it's very easy to write with and it's inexpensive, so if I lose it, it doesn't really matter. And here's an overview of how my planner is looking. One of my charms got stuck inside, but I pulled it out. Now I'm going to flip through it, and this is the part where I noticed that my notebook isn't upside down. At first I was super confused, but then I realized what happened and I just flipped it over and it was fine. So there's my packing list, my itinerary, my more detailed daily schedules. As you can see, I have times and stuff on there. And then I'm flipping to my next notebook, which is my weekly schedule, and then the blank pages for my journaling. And that's it for this video, really. It's a pretty simple setup, but it works great for me. I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing me set everything up. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!